And there we go. Bit of a later one today. All the school districts around here freaked out about the amount of snow. Like, okay, yeah. 3 inches in May. Woo. Like, it could have been worse if any of the power lines did something stupid, but most of the time the kids aren't even being brought by bus, they're being brought by their parents because but like I understand the ones up in the mountains, like they might have gotten foot and a half, something like that. Haven't checked. I'm a foothills house, so like that's not my concern. Beef. Yeah, all that's simple. We're going to come over here and grab this lemon. We're going to go up here and mute the dang TV. You mute it beforehand, you use it as the primary screen, but then if you had turned it off between the last time you messed with settings, it turns back on unmuted, and you get to play the game of, hey, doubled sound if you don't remember to turn it back off. Fortunately, I'm being conscious that that's the way that is. Still holding out hope that they're going to make those changes soon enough that it's not going to be absolutely ridiculous that you haven't started compacting, right? Look, if I get after 50 and I'm consistently playing and like there's no hope in sight that they're going to fix that stupid high cost for compacting things up to 5 times, which most of the things I want to compact are going to compact like 3. Like, yeah, I'll bite the bullet because I know that the ratio for vault diamonds goes notably up after 50, and especially so after 65. It's going to be quite annoying because it will still be competing with knowledge stars at that point. But there is nothing that says I couldn't just learn to deal with. Yeah. He still fires things even on piece of cake, so that didn't help much. Still annoyed at that. Anyways. But fairly spread out, fairly simple. I need to get a bit of gilded, bit of wooden, which, like, it's not even a lot of wooden, because it's like 1/4 of wooden is going to have a page in it, and I need 4 pages, so I'm going to average out to like 16 wooden or less. Gets me a completion. Crate. Love the crates. Steals the crates. They were supposed to swap over to the quark ones exactly for this supposed reason. In theory, that was during the older design style. A parapet, whatever that is. Okay. I've raided more than enough wooden for all my wooden needs. That's mostly wooden down there. And like I could go behind it and see if what the carve out is, but I could just move on to the next room. It's ores. So I should just kind of go, okay, I needed ores. Something, something, Minecraft's mobs don't cross rails. Once again, providing some extra defense and control to the Vault Hunter players. Well, Ignite, I needed more of that anyways. Hello, hello, hello. Like, I can be done, I mean... Onward. Zine is something I need more of, yes. So I'll take that. Hi, Javelin. Tabium? Honestly, I'm glad that Tabium's not going to be one of my bottlenecks this season. Because this thing, like, consistently, I've had, like, 3 or 4 seasons where that was the bottleneck for, like, the longest time early game, and it's like, it's exactly the same spawn rate as everything else. Why am I having that many problems? Some of us have opinions about the changeover. I know power-wise it's probably fine, but like, you get legacy players and like, any kind of change is going to be tough, especially early on. before you've done any balancing or fixing on it so that it, like, feels better. Like I said, we've got the compression upgrade that seems far overcosted for what we're getting out of it. Crab kebab. Like, when I base with somebody, I do fully intend to work with them on storages, so. Living chest is not on my wheelhouse for this run. So, sorry, Tenos, but I am not going to be assisting you at this time. Probably should finish healing that. This vault is just like, how much HP can we take off you, Weasel? Honestly, I wish, like, the roll for Cloud. Tasty. What do we got? We got the guy that will stab me in the back and living chests. Nope. Neither one of those help me advance what I need to do. So we're going to move on from that room. Wooden. I don't know, my beloved. I will not be walking into a dungeon today for you. I appreciate your offer for a task, but it's not in my current wheelhouse and chase. If the gods want my devotion, it has to be convenient to my time limits. That's not how that should work. You should be always serving now. You want my devotion? Earn it. I got 200 when you didn't tell me what you were going to have me do beforehand. Please, sir, can you spare just a little gilded? Just a little. I don't need much. You know, just a red scroller. A single red scroller for a poor little beggar. Two drowned, chilling in a hot tub, less than a meter apart, because they are absolutely bricked by AI. Not like language learning models, but mob pathing rules and whatnot. Gilded. Okay, up we go. I have no clue whether it was purely the jab or the jab and the thorns there that really mattered for killing that. But that is a completed scavenger. I will go and mine some ores, yes. Well, I will mine some ores as soon as I finish raiding this, the Iskallia Special. So called because he, at one point got annoyed at one of the small living points of interest being as small as it was, and then elected to follow that up with giving us one of the most powerhouse ore setups. One unique. Unique being the tier, not the difference. Something, the first time I ran into it, I got annoyed because unique. I mined at least 3 different types of ores. That's 3 unique ores. No. It's the player tier. I think I even had an echo, like, back then, and it was like, nope. Echo is not a unique ore. Something. The ridiculously long timer. You piece of cakers are so spoiled. Like, the time differential for a lot of these, it's like, piece of cake does not change the player's speed. It does not change the mining tools. So scaling the amount of time you have to move through the vault and find things sometimes is like, the scaling is wrong in theory for the amount of scaling. See? What? That wasn't even a different one. That was Sparkletine again, right? The previous one was also Sparkletine? Hola, my beloved. Thanks for the healing efficiency. I would have preferred the regen at this tier, but I mean, the fact that this is first vault of level 40, and I have done that, like, okay. I don't exactly get to go, oh, I'm most devoted. Nah. New season, new me. I'm just the guy of one favor. Which, honestly, the fact it's a guaranteed favor is, in fact, also a nice change from older eras and other things like that. The non-exclusivity is also nice. And honestly, one of the best things, especially with it's 8 minutes left, is that I get the opportunity to do stupid things like run back and forth in the vault because I rolled a good scav. And that means I get the opportunity to profit like this. Yeah! First, alter fruit. An orange. Absolutely was worth the time. It took me more than a minute to run back and forth and all that. So in theory, I've just exchanged time from this specific vault run for time in a future vault run that is being more of an issue. But like, really? You wouldn't exchange a minute from a vault where you're done with 10 minutes left in order to add a minute to a vault that you're having problems with because RNG is being dumb NG? I have some time to... In theory, one of these times I'm going to have to pick up a cake crystal because even if I'm unlikely to use it, having it in my repertoire of things I can run on demand later on is something I want to be able to do. Because, like, I potentially have an easier chance of convincing some of my server mates to run a cake rather than miscellaneous scav number 487. Like, I'm not going to get 500 vaults this season, I don't think. Maybe. I think this season's supposed to run until VH4 comes out, but if they decide at some point to do a refresher because the servers are just kind of like not doing much, I could see that happening. But I do hope that the idea is, hey, everything else is done and we're working on VH4 and that's the next thing we're really looking for. So let's let them just roll out Legacy. Let people turbo play with the mod pack for like the rest of the year. With maybe the, what was it? The unified server design or whatever, where like a player could have a Vault Hunter and their base might be on one server, but they could log on to any server by using the change server commands that like some of the other servers take advantage of for things like Bed Wars or Skyblock or like mining worlds for resources where they just are like, oh yeah, go to the resource world. We've put up a vanilla world generation, but we suppress mobs in it, and you can wander to this desert that the admins have already put up a portal to. And you can just collect sand. Which, you know, if you really need sand in Vault Hunters, everyone knows the best place to get it is just to go and find like random riverbanks, random deserts, and mine it there. There's no way to kind of get it during your runs or any place else that would be convenient. You gotta get everything outside of the vault. No resource gathering based on doing your vault runs. Alright. Let's get the last of this wooded. And try and figure out where the turn-in is. There it is. Does that count? Does that count? The absolute cheek. Like, oh, look, we're just going to see if we can try and fight the skeleton where we're immortal. Yeah, I don't have the speed to pull that off. Ooh, lemons and an orange. Ooh, I got my deposit upgrade back. Yay. Okay. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Focus chaotic. Challenge Temple. That's the new Ziggurat build where you like select some chests and you fight some mobs in it. Alright. 2 sparkletine, 1 tubium, and a xenium as an extra bonus. Yeah, this and this are like the ones I am most happy to have gotten. Sparkletines, cool. Hello, gorgeous, of course. You never snub your nose at getting some Gorgonite. Black Opal. Benny Boys. something something taking advantage of the different arrangements that Vein Miner can work, right? All right. F. Yay! Got all my gems. And my pick is fixed. Alright. Now I've got a couple of quests. I probably need to turn this in at some point. We need table. Cata table is 5 steel, 2 assets, 1 of the ingots, 1 of these, and a lectern, which I think I have 1 or 2 lecterns, but not a ton. Yeah. I've got 3 lecterns, and I think a couple other recipes require a lectern as well, so we're going to just grab those for the moment. We're then going to remember that the ingots are in there. We're going to tell it, hey, make me an infusion table, right? It takes 2 of these, 1 of the fragments. And that's one of the reasons why I went and ran quite so many early runs on those. Inscription table. Similar, but this is the expensive version of that cheaper one. So we need 1 of this because I only have 1 black chromatic already made. We need the lecterns, which we already got. We need the steel, and we need the vault diamond blocks, which, what's our turnout for vault diamonds? 8 from a vault run that included gilded in the required loot category again. I'm going to continue to hope that the costs might be a little bit skewed. Carbon. Yeah. We are just going to make a very large amount of steel, and by that I mean 21. Then we're going to take the carbon back out. Like, carbon's not the bottleneck, neither is chromatic steel, honestly. I could go harvest chromatic steel if I'm just not lazy about it. It does not take much effort. That makes the inscription table. That gets to live there. Next up. Break a pylon at some point. So stand there mining on it for a very long time because it requires a pickaxe. And it's got an absolutely ridiculously high hardness set for it. Artifact Tome, which I believe is another one of the R to F. Yep. It's, at least this one is just steel heavy. But that means that I need to break some of the already blocked chromatic iron down. Not that I don't have more I can cook. It takes approximately, but not exactly, 9 blocks to make a black chromatic. And what was it? Did it need a book in that recipe? Yeah, it needed a book. Where am I going to get a book? How in the world would I get a book? There's no way to get books in this pack. None whatsoever. It's not like they don't exist. Am I going to have to go through the effort of making paper? That's so difficult. And then having leather from cows? Like, how do you even find cows? How do you find cows in this pack? I'm gonna go kill a zombie just because I can. Yes, you noticed me. But you didn't notice the knife I'm carrying. I really hope the mic has been working this whole time. My brain is being paranoid, and I'm fairly certain it is, but the paranoia is like, oh, yeah. Your mic hasn't been working this whole time. Let's ignore the dancing green line that's next to your voice and the fact that you heard the double sound from it earlier when you hadn't turned off Ooh, why are those brown? Oh, that's just dirt. Something. The angle of viewing with shaders makes it annoying to place some of the higher ones because they vanish as you go to look at where you need to put them. Artifact Tome. Trinket Forge, which was... This one was simple. I remember it was very, very simple. It was like a single vault diamond. Let's go see what that was. Tinket Forge! Get forged. Remember, you need to put the R in, even if you're not going to say it. Very intentionally does that. Get forged. Yeah. 4 steel. Which... Eight blocks means 18 carbon. Makes only half of it. God dang it. Like, you're supposed to be good at this, yeah, but not all of us are immune to Josh math. It comes free with your subscription to Vault Hunter's server slot. Just ask, like, anyone who plays on it. Now, where the heck did I store those iron? There's the iron. Absolute vanilla-like recipe, like... I know, you don't want to accidentally lock people out of being able to do it, but... He's my little friend, see? He is so happy. Tinket Forge, Tinket Forge. Make 1 Plunderer's Vault Rock. We will replace the vault diamonds required to craft it. 4 of these. 4 of these. Something, something. I ran nearly 200 plunder vaults in a single season one time. It was specifically while I was chasing God Altars. Because on casual, if you die, you already are going to... Wait. Oh, it's the Dreamstone, not the diamonds. Right. That's where it starts bottlenecking. Because Dreamstone, you get even less than the diamonds do. Which means, like, before 50... Like, you start getting decent amount of Dreamstone post 50. Which means you can actually get plunder to kind of, like, happen on demand once you pass 50, as long as you don't completely ignore Gilded. And out of, like, all the specialty ones, I do actually enjoy using the plunder rocks. They're a decent thing for what they're doing too. Like, I still have an Innocence out, so we're going to be fine with that. I need to go. It's the stupid slab, right? It's the one where you need to have already double smelted to get the smooth stone. Then you need 6 sticks, I think, per. Which somewhere around I've got a stick stack. Stick stack, patty whack, give a dog a bone. Like, I swear I've stored some stick stacks somewhere. I didn't nonsense them, right? They're over in the compressibles, probably. Because that sounds like something I would do for my pre-sorting while I'm working on getting storage going. Is I would stick stacks in the... because that way, if I need sticks for something, I can raid them from the vault. Yeah. Yeah, it needs this stupid thing to do this. Because armor stands are dumb like that. Yes, it's a vanilla recipe. Take it up with Mojang. And to actually get it, I have to place it down and interact with it. Doesn't even have to be yours. You just kind of have to click on one that somebody has down. There we go. I've got nothing in it. Wardrobe is done. Multiple builds. This one is the slightly annoying one. This is the skill altar. It is an exorbitant amount of steel. So I'm going to go back over here and do this same recipe again that I could have actually just done a bunch of at the beginning, knowing full well that I was going to have to come and do this. Okay. At spawn. One on. One sec. You try and throw something to your teammate, but then you don't turn off your... And now if you need to go and get your stuff. This, my friends, is why I always insist on making the hub basically with, like, the very first knowledge star. Because, like, if you need to make the hub afterwards, it's annoying. You've got to figure out exactly where spawn kind of is. And, like, okay, that wasn't exactly dead center, exactly where spawn was or whatever, but it was close enough that it was very easy for them to get there, and then they can sort themselves out. They've been doing this mod pack a while, and like the biggest impediment to us when we like randomly are dying is figuring out how in the world we're going to go from where we are right now back to our base to get our stuff if we accidentally die without like an elytra or whatnot. I am going to go and steal another villager's window. Because that's the most sensible way to get glass panes. The most sensible way would be for me to go back, grab the second elytra I've put away, and fly up there, but like hiking's good for you. Do it from time to time. We would suggest you do it in real life, but at least take the time to appreciate environments around you, even in video games, to encourage, I don't know, mindfulness about the world around you, virtual and otherwise. This has been a Touch Virtual Grass public service announcement. Back to living in a cave. One essence. And I did a dumb, didn't I? Nope. Okay, I did manage to pick up the panel. I did not do a dumb where I have to walk back up that stupid hill. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be yours. You don't even have to be able to actually access anything. Transmog table. Stupidly simple. I just have to grab more carbon out, which fortunately I haven't even started storing it, so I can just do it from right here and kind of go like, yeah, okay. I intended to do this all along. That's why I kept pulling out more iron than I needed. Ah, look. I've already compressed all the carbon I need to put away in a little bit. It saves me so much effort. We're just going to put all of this back in here and pretend like this was 100% as planned. Okay, it partially was. I didn't unload because I knew, like, hey, as I go, I'm going to want to get different things out of it. Like, I need to grab 2 driftwood as well. And yep. I've been playing this since the early vaults. Grabbed exactly 1. Enchanting table because I knew I'd need another one for something down the line. And then what? Unique codex. Two Vaulterite. Which I've got the Painite for. And, like, I doubt any of these is going to be worth keeping. Not living, not high, not living, not high, not living, not high. Okay. That's 4 Volterite. As long as I've got 8 Painite. GG on the recovery there. $420 out of... Yeah, so like 6 experience would fix that. So like, it cost me basically nothing whatsoever to help him out there. And like, we're base mates. So it was completely reasonable to do. Alright. And then it's like a bunch of seals that you need to do at some point. You need to interact with the transmogrification, the pylons. Alright. Technically, this goes somewhere over here, which means we're going to pick up one of the illegal books, and we're going to send an illegal book on top of it. And that counts as interacting with it because I had to shift right click. Alright. Things that go. And like, okay, now I need to go and turn in a bunch of these. I know that I probably don't actually have to do the seal ones because I've always left the seal ones. So we are going to tell it, yes, I've completed that. 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 Okay, so there we go. Unfortunately, I do have to actually claim the charm, even if I would want to save it for later. Interact with the Gall Altar, and you will get a hug. And then no more quests until 50. Alright. Tier 3? Yep. A 0.35, 0.25, and 0.5. I do wish the per reputation showed like 2 decimal places, so 3 digits of precision. Because, like, 0.4 versus 0.35, like, that matters. Anyways. Localized lag spike. Am I gonna crash out? Am I gonna crash out? Am I gonna crash out? 6,000 kilobytes per second, 0 dropped frames. Now, that might have been the whole server lagging, but I have seen that same one, and it's tied, as far as I can tell, given the fact I've even seen it on vanilla mixes. I've seen lag spikes like that tied to having Zero's minimap. But given the fact it appears that we were down all that. Yep. All right. It happens. Still 0 drop frames, so, like, now that things have stopped being dumb momentarily, spruce, diamond barrel. We need 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. My inventory is too crammed with stuff to make pogs at the moment, so let's stick some things. Need to figure out where in the world I want to store those long term. Nonsense. Nonsense. Okay. Technically, I should just start by putting this nonsense in here. Because that's where I'm going to end up using it. We're going to stick Vaultite in here next to the Netherite. Because both are about as useful as a root canal. When you need them, and you should be aware of it. But heck, if you need it more than rarely. All right. Laramie, Laramie. Benny, Benny, Benny. Don't need to compact those yet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Storage controller needs the 4 steel as well, which I think I put away 4 steel. And hopefully that is just like any barrel. Because I'll be annoyed if it's not just any barrel. You invoke the pogs. You get the pogs. It requires a specific barrel, it requires a specific barrel. It requires a specific diamond tier barrel. It requires a specific diamond tier barrel. Is that what this recipe is going to show me? No. JEI just doesn't have the right programming to let it auto place it into there for me. There we go. Like this, in theory, is still a more expensive craft than its old counterpart, but not in an unreasonable way. Because, one, we could talk about, oh yes, it works with all these drawers and whatnot, just like the old controller. But if you stick and connect the connector pieces, like these, on the sides of, say, a bunch of sophisticated chests near each other, or the sophisticated regular barrels, or whatnot, you absolutely can run an entire storage system as kind of a mix between standard and colossal chests. All right. So I technically now have enough materials that I can test something that I wanted to test. It said 15. One of the things that potentially needs a barrel that every single vault hunter is going to end up with is vault cobblestone and vault stone. Sure, you don't need to put in a barrel or whatnot, but honestly, yeah, because you can just like void all of it. But something like, say, sure, that we've stuck vault stone in there. We're going to set a link on its side for now. And this is entirely for testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So if I were to put the controller right here, this is block 16. And technically, all of this is already hooked up to it. See? No extra length needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we're going to take this controller and slap it on the side of it. Then we're going to link all right. So we're going to do a quick check. That went away. Sweets went away. But cobblestone did not. Okay. What about carrots? Okay, they're not currently linked, which means this is not currently linked. What tool is this demanding? This is demanding pickaxe, and was that a drown spawning? I thought I had heard something. Apparently not immediately. Linking to controller. Okay. Now, if we did this right, which I hope we did, because I will be slightly annoyed if we didn't. I should be able to go. There we go. Anyways, I'm not using packing tape to move this. We are just going to collect that. collect that. There we go. Collect that. Collect that. There we go. And we can add them to the storage later, but for now, I got a chunk of them in this. We're going to pull out... Why am I even using cobblestone? Right now I'm generating stone. Boop! 40 stacks deposited. And we can see which ones aren't registering or are over full. So hey, does this work globally? Maybe? Yep. So I can globally set whether or not it shows how full those are. I can globally set or unset whether or not it shows what upgrades are in things. Which... currently set to show for all the ones that are currently in existence. Set to show. Set to show. Set to show. Yeah. Cool. Like, this isn't where I want it in the long run because, well, one, I want a cube. Which, like, the size is slightly dumb for what I would want. Because 31 versus... Like, yes, I know it's because it's 15 to each side, which means suddenly these ones are outside of it. But, I mean... You can put barrels facing straight down from the ceiling, too, if you want. I don't know why you would want to have your storage like that. Like, it might look silly, and it might be fun at the same time, but, like... Anyways, Mega Torches is a... How much is this sucker going to set me back? Cost 2 to research. We've got and a star here. Technically, this is more than I need because it's 8 counts. And I can't make a mega torch anyways because I've spent all of my echo, so I am out of echo, and it costs 1 echo per torch. So I can't currently suppress the mob spawns that way. So I'm like, I'm going to need to do some extra runs anyways, and like 3 unspent skill points. I swear I've been spending the skill points, haven't I? Has it been reverting? Have some of the unlocks been reverting? Okay. We're going to do the count again, everyone. We've got 16 on this page. 32, 33, 36, 40, plus 2 because I'm at 41 and you get 1 before you hit level 1 because of the initial quest. I've just been forgetting to spend like the last points I get towards the end of a session. I don't need 3 yet on haste. Don't need lucky momentum because if I am going to do anything with lucky, it's going to be, I think step 1 is cleave. Not that it matters too much because my total lucky hit while holding my sword is 3%. At 3%, it's an extra 10% damage if I've selected nothing else. An unspect lucky hit just gives 3%, or just gives 10% extra damage. I think my next couple of levels are to add extra mana regen as long as I am attacking and killing mobs. Because as a melee combat build that has started to run short on mana, that is the easier way to guarantee consistent mana regen early. Ooh, we've got no penalty at the moment. Cool. Um, did I really manage to like exactly get the amount of planks out of that? Or like, yeah, or uh wooden chunks. Because like that was like exactly full. And that doesn't have a void in it. Because the upgrades are visible. Anyways, standard grid, storage. I think level 52 is a good tier to get gear at. So I think I'm going to take advantage of what you call it. Okay. This can go down here. Wrench gets to go up a shelf. So it lives here next to this. Like, really, I should just go through the effort of doing this real quick. But what I should do and what I am doing are apparently two very different things. And it will annoy the heck out of some people. 6 essence, an alexandrite. Makes a seal of the hunter. There we go. Seal of the hunter goes in here for the next time. Beef. Let's see how much natural beef I have, if any. I think I've stabbed the calves at least a little bit for leather, which potentially puts some beef in some of these storages. Yep. What was it? 7? 7 it was asking for. Then I also need various flowers, which I could just do by putting down some regular grass, or I can go through here and pick out whatever miscellaneous flowers I have in this and the other storage. Moss carpet. And then it was what? Cobblestone and a coal. And yeah, exactly 7 beef. 15 to go. Snad. That's not doing too bad. We need size 1 flowers, which, like, that's a small amount I've ended up with. But it takes very little work to go and, like, just throw down some water and splash a bunch up. And then we've got if I did this right. Yep. Crates away! Look how efficient that was. Okay. Bamboo, I don't think works with Snad because there's not a dirt Snad variant. And bamboo is not a sand growth, but it is a fast growth anyways, so it won't be too much trouble to arrange. That still needs identified. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Log, nonsense. Okay. 6 go in here because we've already established that I regard the as compressible because of the stacks. Oh, mighty things full of nonsense. That is potentially alarming. We are going to take do I have any loose redstone torches at the moment? No, I have used them up. Okay. We're going to come into here. You're going to what? Shut up. We're going to... Coconut wood and coconut logs are not something the altar ever asks for. Because once it starts asking for woods, it's specific about using vanilla woods, and it is explicit about them. We are going to make ourselves a stack of the torches, because this mod pack does like using its torches. We're going to place this shulker box into play there. Then we're going to upgrade it into existing as one of the specialty ones, and we're going to upgrade it to that. Then we're going to go and ask if there's some more nonsense. Oak beam we can break down into sticks. Boards we can't do anything with. Sadly enough, I think I can stick them into something just to burn them if I need to later. They still are a wood variant, as far as I can tell. Okay. So I can't directly use these to craft as though they were actual, like, planks. So we are going to take a look at whether or not the chisel can revert them. Yep. They can be reverted to their vanilla state. So that allows us to then go and get started on this at some point. You think this was all we were going to do? No. I've got nether trees to add to this. I've got regular trees to add to this. I've got logs, planks, all kinds of stuff. And if this is going to be torn out exactly to take full advantage of all the space it wants me to use, I am going to need a lot of it. Let's see. Those are away. This nonsense gets to go down here, along with the blank upgrades. Limited barrel 1, limited barrel 4s. I'm out of the 2s and 3s already because I only seem to craft them when I know exactly how many I need, even though I've got at least a couple different things where, like, it's not going to hurt anything if I overcount. This goes in here. This goes in here. Yeah, like, honestly, a decent amount of this already I can start just making storages for, because I really should. We should go and Oh, it's tropical fish from my video game. Don't know what all the rest of these things apparently. They're also tropical fish. Tell that to their carcasses. Yeah. Have I said I love teaming up with builders? Because builders know what in the world they're doing. This looks like a storage they check from time to time. Added Smart Books Home back in. I should go and make a storage room. In theory. $3.21. Do I call it today? I'm only about 2 hours in. That seems like it would be a light day. But, like, started late. I've actually done quite a bit. And, but, like, there's nothing to say is I can't, just call it early. Oh, we'll give you a digital map for a thing that's going to get delivered. And you can come and look at it. Goes, clicks on it. Oh, the map's not available. We had to have you put in a code to get told that the map's not available. And, you know, for more information, we're just going to send you back to the very same place you just came from that did not have all the details anyways. Strip spruce wood. Ooh, is spruce wood on the list? Like, yes. They added to all of the logs or whatnot. Whenever it asks for a log, you can submit the log, the wood, the stripped log, or the stripped wood of that variant. If it asks for crimson hyphae, you can get, or if it asks for crimson stem, you can do the crimson hyphae, or the stripped hyphae, or the stem. Just has to be one of those four. But at the same time, they've gone from like any logs early on to explicit logs even early on. But you can do logs or wood or different things like that, which actually helps quite a bit with some of the modded, modded biome choices that exist where, like, the mod makers decided for style, they put in some logs and some wood and sometimes stripped ones, like those pine trees in section 1 where they had like right next to spawn. To say nothing about the modded woods being annoying when you need to potentially harvest vanilla woods long term. I'm going to guess this was technically a harvest of leaves. Relatively recently, too. Harvest of logs, harvest of leaves. Let's go hoover up all the drops. There's perfectly good apples among them. And this isn't a flower forest, so these aren't necessarily 100% guaranteed to be these when you grow them again. Like with the 3D mapping. I don't think that Meadow uses the 3D mapping. It might. But like I don't exactly have a modded environment to really take advantage of testing all that out. I have still failed to get a living chest scroll at all. Do I want to run around in some raw vaults? Maybe break off some current crystals so they're like closer in level to right now. Oh, I can go in right here. Runs immediately into the blockaded entrance. Alright. First things first. Yay, sticks. But we are going to throw a chunk of dandelions. We're going to put the sticks away here. The flowers here. We're going to come over here, grab the logs and planks out because we're going to drag these things over here to the I need to do something with them. Like, I don't think I necessarily want to go through all the effort of making the universal filter on the log stuff where you accidentally get some from the vault, but I might take a 2x2 and go, well, we've got acacia log, stripped log, and then we got acacia wood, stripped wood, and they all share one 2x2 drawer, and lightning goes off, and bees annoying, woo. Let's right click on the bed. I still need to take that and dye it pink. But I think the stupid thing requires me to make some soap to clean it back up so that it's plain white, despite the fact that everyone knows that the default bed is red. Okay. Like, I also do not know how much I actually want to risk playing all the drawers are hooked up to one storage controller, and then a bunch of extremely dense storage items are also in the same two chunks thing. So the question also is, do I want to go through my entire effort of making my cube again? Or do I do a hybrid where I do like extremely dense, sophisticated storage things like the non-limited barrels like I used for crafting the controller, or the sugar boxes at that end of these two chunks so that they're in one of those two chunks. And then I connect my refined storage system external, however that's going to work. I think it's going to be like a really long cable, and either its drives are going to be in that chunk next to the farm here, or RS's core is going to be like down here, and I run a cable in, and the RS core is here. Of course, noting that I could just go like RS core is here. Because I think that's close enough to be reasonably loaded whenever Smartbook is at their base. Because I believe, yeah, simulation distance is like 11 or whatever. So there's not a major risk that they wouldn't be able to access the system because the system itself is offline or whatever, because they're too far away from it. But I also could say, how's the core of it like? I don't want to encroach too close on it. So there's nothing that says I couldn't go. The core is literally here. As I rip out the old chests and whatnot and move things out of this thing, I make that the central RS core, run a crafting grid over to my workshop, a connection to the drawers and all that. Give them a warp pad in case they need to go over to the drawers or throw something into the storage here. But treat this as the primary storage chunk for RS at that point. Who knows? I have a ton of torches. And I have a decent need to light up this if I'm going to rip it out momentarily like I think I am, so that I can start storing things. So first things first, we are going to unpack this 24 count chandelier. We're going to eat just a bit of cake. The sapling things. One, yeah, there's 8 counting these, and the Warped and Crimson are going to get their own just too high, but I'm going to run like the sapling as 2x2 by another 2, so just 2 of them. And we're going to have saplings all stored in those 2 blocks, like I've done every year. We'll potentially move this over to the rest of the storage. We'll hope to get it like compression. And just in case, this whole time I've been ranting and raving about it being far too expensive, and it turns out there is like one secret way to take absolute advantage of it. Oh, that's what happened. That's where those extra chunks were. Make sure all of these are locked. Because, you see, it's not going to deposit unless it exists somewhere in the storage. So, like, I'm not going to get overflowing into random drawers at the moment from that. Except if I've got a space reserved for it and I fail to store it. I have now made another batch of boards. We are going to use boards as floor here, okay? Because I did a dumb, and now I got boards. Because everyone loves boards, right? But we are going to no. It's definitely not global. When I did that, where did it assign that? It didn't assign it to the furthest one. It assigned it to the closest one. That is one of the dumbest especially because okay, how am I supposed to access it? Huh? I gotta leave the backs open? I gotta leave the backs open? If I right click to put it in a storage, it will put it on the nearest one, even if it does not make sense. Controller. Use a dumb. Use a dumb. That is the dumbest way to handle that. Like, it doesn't even go, okay, is this a reasonable place for that? Like, maybe if you've got somebody putting in, like, a huge amount of voiding on their oops all farmables drawer system, that makes sense. Distribute one voiding to each one of them. I didn't assign any of them that I got to their spaces. I forgot to assign the Gorgonite. I forgot to assign the Balmy. I forgot to assign the Zine. I will have to do that next time. Oh, okay. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, okay, yes, this is not the most efficient way to light up this whole space, but 4. There we go. Take that one down. Take that one down. And in theory, that's also the right size then for, like, marking out where the drawers can be, because if I leave the controller attached like that, like, I'm not going to in the run. I am going to move the controller and I'm going to have to rebind everything. Oh no. Especially because I do want to have more than one floor to this. Not because it's required or anything. In fact, it's potentially more annoying to have more than one floor with this because with the fact that I can make the storage what you call it. include really big chests that just kind of go, these are dumb things. These dumb things end up in here, and then I can like digitally store the unstackables in the RS core. But like the dumb modded things that just need high density storage but don't necessarily need an individual drawer for each one to be made. I can make vaultite tools now, I think. Which means if I wanted to, I could just make a little cheapo 3x3 vaultite hammer. Like, I don't have any hammering tools yet. And I'd be like, oh, I'd be so remiss if I started using hammering jewels on this already. But, like, honestly, I should stop auto-identifying jewel pouches. Hand-picking them because I've got all the upgrades. And, like, they've got base sophisticated storage done. I think with them having base sophisticated storage, they can still use the limited drawers, right? Just fine. They just can't craft more. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I miscounted somewhere, didn't I? There we go. Yep. Very, very satisfying. As we clear out some space. I should make this also a netherite tool. It doesn't repair any better than it currently already will or anything like that, but it doesn't mine any faster, but like the extra durability for doing like later vault runs will matter. And it's like what? 4 planks. Not even picky about which ones, so let's go with spruce. 4 spruce. Womp, 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 womp. In the water, in the water. 2 iron ingots. And I swear this gets used elsewhere at least once. Which, let's see. Not there, not there. Point of interest, yeah. It's got a few stupid recipes out there in case you ever need them. It's got both the regular, like, netherite ones, but it's got this thing. Like, nobody really needs it, but, and then you need it otherwise to make disc housings. You might be able to make disc housings elsewhere. So, like, it's not completely out of left field, and otherwise, like, you stick things through that normally. But, because this is pre-upgrade template territory, all I need to do, come over here, four, five because of the X. We set this down in the middle of this hallway because that's the most reasonable place for it. We can get serious dedication later, and one important thing about saving serious dedication for later, not that it matters too terribly much when it comes to this mod pack, is if you need to enchant some things, having a few levels is useful, and being able to just kind of turn in a quick little thing to get you a couple of levels as a vanilla challenge, like the challenge achievements, like serious education and all that, is nice. Because it doesn't give you experience that could be applied to your tools or whatever. So, like, there's no being cheeky in that way by doing, like, the Nether Explorer one, which I don't even know how that works with the modded ones this mod pack is added. Let's see. I've seen about one factory so far, and I didn't rate it, so don't have a PAX yet. So I can't make a really lazy Paxel hammer shatterer thing. But if I start from a hammer, I could also add reaping to it. Which, like, cool, I can hammer leaves into my inventory instead of fortuning them into whatever. And, like, a lot of this matters more once I get to what's the term? Vanilla immortality. You keep smelting down vanilla immortality. less than 10% on a jewel for like the chromatic ones. Doesn't matter too much. Like, yes, I could make a Volterite one with a higher capacity, and I could potentially force one fairly early, like in the 35s. I could force a very low power, no reach, basically just immortal Paxel Hammer, and like potentially that makes my life easier. But I could just as well sort my quality of life by just going through a little bit extra effort, getting myself the fancy big toy laser miner, or just like sitting down and like there's no reason I can't do like 4 vaults in like 2 hours at this stage of the run. The crystals aren't that expensive. But like without vanilla immortality, I have to think, okay, how much vault materials am I using on whatever uh, tool I made, and how annoying is it if it doesn't instant mine all the ores as I go past, like that copper there. Like, I'm going through the stone at instant speed, but like carving out a 3x3 and then having to double back for the copper separately. All right. Like, eventually I want, like I said, I do want to do floors on this. Don't know what I'm going to do about ceiling. Right now I'm ripping out about one more tile than I necessarily want. But like, that might be like, okay, why are you doing that? Because it will let me, if I need to run like cables, connect my RS system from above, run some cables down the center of the area to the controller, and I just put in like a fancy column or whatever visually. I do wish that we had like something besides the controller and the links. Although if it turns out like if it turns out that I can just I don't know. Nope. It does not appear to be a IO, at least from this side. And I haven't tested yet whether or not does this need to be connected to something. If I tell it I need it to connect to the thing below it, and then these are the kind of things I think about. Okay, it's a multi-block storage. Nope. That didn't let me input. So that's not an option. Didn't finish fixing that one up. I'll deal with that later. In theory, I could always carry a double set. Somewhat defeats the purpose of having a spare one at home. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sports. I'm going to borrow this for a moment. There we go. It's not ideal, but it exists. And, like, I can always... Yeah, like, I can... I can duct tape these and move them around. I don't want to duct tape them and move them around. That seems tedious, but I can. So that they, like, so that the one block access. Yeah, like, if I went and went, okay, now drawers go here and then here, and that's how we're going to store everything, is on those. And then this corner gets to be the high density chests. We make this the high density chests or whatever, and then we run the RS line in, but all the drawers are like here, here, and maybe a couple of floors of them. Heck, because it's a big cube space, I can make it like amphitheater stairs down. And a couple of like layers with like walkways over to the drawers at that layer along the edge, and some hanging ones and whatnot. If I want to torture myself. Okay, it's not that much torture. Just a little torture as a treat. Most people don't say things like that. Most people don't say things like that. That's not how people engage with that. Have you talked with somebody recently? Hmm? Do you need to work some stuff out? Just a little torture as a treat. Look, if you can't engage with things weirdly, then why are you engaging with things at all? Like, yeah, I could just, like, easily fill in that gap. I don't know, put down some dirt or something and just kind of, like, not have the hole in the ground while I work on just finishing this up. But, like, I can also just kind of go like this. And then the rest of the stuff I can do by because I don't even really actually need like 100% of the volume available or anything like that. All right. Stone. I need more stone, so we're going to pull some out. And we're going to for sanity's sake, define an upper bound here. And that gives me enough space later on to put a bit of RS above. Because that's still enough room for even like a 3 high instead of just a 2 high or anything like that. Right. Yep, that's the corner. And then that gives me the option to go like this. I think I'm going to finish the torch placement. Then I think I'm going to make like 2 unbreaking 3 mending tapes. Not that they're expensive or anything to fix or anything like that, so. Okay, and I've picked up everything. So And the question becomes, how much do drawers actually block? And like some of the digging I'm doing here, I can recoup by fortuning like those coal ores. Extracting the experience from that smelter I've been using that's attached to a hopper output is definitely an option as well. Stick a lever on the front, stick something in to smelt in it. Because I've got things to smelt too. Like all the copper I'm collecting in this too. Also, if I got especially worried about having enough XP to repair everything. Nobody's killed the dragon on this server. I'm fairly certain I'm at the lead for everyone on the server at the moment. Noting that everyone right now is Amanda, Smartbook, Gicky, me, Loose Cannon. Don't know how much Loose Cannon is played. Crafty, as far as I know, still hasn't managed to log on. I hope nothing's gone, like, terribly for her or whatever. But, like, she's had times where she's gotten sidelined pretty hard. And I think there's, like, one other person that's not part of the old guard, so I don't know them right off, that was added to this, but I haven't seen them listed as one of the ones playing yet, I don't think. But it's hard to tell because the armory did not clear all the servers when the season started. So the players are still listed in the armory from the last cycle. Message. Something something. MTG has openly available in the coming weeks pre-built Goblin EDH commanders through their secret lair. These are extremely annoying to buy because, like, you have to get in early because they sell out extremely quickly, and, like, some people will go like, oh, they don't know their numbers, they should go back to their print to demand. This never was on the table for the print to demand stuff or whatever. And this means absolutely nothing to anybody who isn't directly interacting with that side of Magic the Gathering's direct consumer stuff. Because, like, 2 vein. Cool. $280, $272, 60 something. So looks like I'm going to have enough durability on this cycle. Yep. Like, even if I got extremely unlucky, I don't think there is 163 blocks left up here at the moment. 3. All right. Even counting the was above the gravel, so did not get mined while the gravel was falling on my face. Ugh. All right. Back over to the side here, like it's supposed to be. Then we go over here. It takes at least a stack, and then some. Thing. I was going to hope that it would manage. To actually repair both. Nope. Okay. I guess I did use this a bit more. It's 20 and something, so like... One. Go. Okay. Z1, Z3, F, heal. In case nobody told you. Requires a pickaxe. Requires. It's not wholly unreasonable, but at the same time, like, Anyways. Okay, fine. One more over. We'll make it all in the same chunk. Yeah, none of that's spawnable. That goes there. Let's silk touch the ore veins out of the wall real quick. He says going after the notoriously large-veined vanilla ore as though it definitely is not going to be like 40 blocks or whatever. Would love to have an anchor at this point. Stone is stone is stone. What you so careful about just repairing that tool up? Yeah. But that means that like I can go like, oh yeah, I've only used it for a bit of ore mining to pull them out of the walls so that I can make the walls look nice for a little while. But there's random dirt patch there. And things like that, like... To say nothing about... Let's see. Where was it? There it is. One of the things I like doing with the anchor once I've got it. Something. I've got a cheaty can, but there's a little bit like, yeah, I don't use this for like actually taking advantage of any of this. Like, oh, look, I can see what's in this chunk. Not much, which I already could see with the map. And like, you see different things like, okay, haven't gotten that dungeon. Haven't gotten that dungeon, but they exist down there. Eventually I'll get them, and you can spot those on the map easily enough. Geodes really stick out on the map. I'm like, yeah, some of the things just haven't been found yet. Not necessarily they're going to, but one thing that this particular one does, it is stupid about. Where you use things from is based on where the camera is, but it is still tied to the player's reach. You're still originating everything based on the player being the point of action. But this camera, if I were over here, I could place a block into a void that my player doesn't have a line of sight for. Now, does this give me any kind of advantage? When building, but it doesn't give me any significant advantage in a vault compared to just like having a free cam for any other player. Because like the amount of work it takes to do that and all that, and like the vault weapons and whatnot are a lot better about determining whether or not you had the line of effect. Oh no. How am I going to fill that in? And like, I've had it for a little while. I am most likely to actually use it once I set up the storage, because it will let me interact with the upgrades on the backside. Something is spaced wrong here. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. And now let me deal with the fact that you cannot access the upgrades. You can put them in. You can put them in from the front, but you can't access them or manipulate them. You can't pull out old stack upgrades for better stack upgrades, which, like, I don't know. There might be something where, like, it's got smart swapping, where, like, if it's already full on slots and you right click, it's going to go, okay, pulls out one of the one tier down stack upgrades and puts in one of the higher ones. That would be a nice quality of life if it's true. I don't know if it is. I would love if it was, but that's on Pepperfly and whether or not they put it in. This is why I need to get my Pickering sorted. Because that is annoying to do. Sure, I was going to have to get up here anyways, but having to do the one jump in midair, noting that I had to dash, start using my vein miner well in the air, because if I started doing it before the dash changes what ability I'm assigned to. And what ability I'm assigned to. Alright. We're going to be lazy about this. Then we're going to heal. That's all of the immediately visible ore veins in the wall here. That goes to the hallway to outside, which, honestly, I can rip out. The wall. Because there's not really any functional reason to keep these separated. There's a chunk border. But it doesn't do anything significant. And I've only carved out up based on where I'm going to be messing with stuff. Right. Next up was packing tape. Is it a little bit ridiculous to go paper and slime balls, which, like, right now I am not making more slime balls. So the slime balls are limited. Not extremely limited. I've got a slime bucket so I can figure out where in the world I need to go to get more slime. Assuming I don't just wander my happy little butt into a, whatchamacallit? Swamp. I swear that there's, like, mending, unbreaking, vanishing. You know, just in case you want to make sure that somebody can't steal your tape just by beating you up. Gotta deal with those tricky roommates during packing. They're going to attack you and try and take all your tape, so make sure nobody can claim your tape from your corpse. Alright, let's go spend some emeralds on a rather absolutely ridiculous endeavor. Mending, unbreaking tape. Like, and I swear it actually does it. And if not, I have just wasted 20 emeralds that I'm not getting back. Two, 3, 5, 6, 7. It mends fine. It does not unbreak correctly. Yeah, like, cool. In theory, I should also be mending this in a moment. These prefer axes. 4, 5, 6, 7. If it's got nothing in it and it's got no programming, I think now, don't quote me on this. Okay. Still can't break it from the front. But I am not going to deal with the implications of sticking several drawers directly into a backpack. It seems like a dubious storage decision to do. So we are going to remove the drawers from the option to end up in. And like, okay, technically maybe we are going to start this the right way. I say as I forget the absolute first thing I figured out about this stupid mod pack. At 5 blocks, it places it down. 2, 3, 4. It does not use facing. Like Quark would use facing. And like technically I could put these one more block over that way. Because 31 gives us this edge as well. But you had the perfect opportunity to make sure you rearranged everything to really optimize where they are. But at the same time, it's like, do I need to be min-maxing this whole thing? Like, I would prefer to get a bit better of a setup out of it. But at this point, I might just have to bite the bullet on stupid decisions that I am stuck with because I'm not on the testing server. I don't get as major an option to provide feedback on this mod pack. Like, I still get a decent opportunity to provide feedback on this mod pack. I've already done so. I submitted some suggestions for the refinement of Remastered already. But I have about no more sway than anybody else on that Discord, except, like, maybe my name is known, and because of throwing money and being stupid on Iskallia streams, and doing at least one big rant. I wouldn't necessarily say that this latest bit of feedback I did counts as a full quarterly rant. Not in the way my feedback about the Prestige when it first came out did. Why don't you go and grab your netherite axe? This is taking so long. Lock in and unlock. Hey, I just realized something I can do. There's nothing that says I have to keep everything in the same order I'm dealing with. Lock and unlock. Tapety tape, 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 tape. Tape. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done it to these, but... Shulker shells can end up on the edge here. Experience bottles. Silver scrap. Ornate chains. In essence. All right, controller goes here. Then we take this. Sign that. Like, I'm probably going to move that later anyways. Technically, I don't have this far enough completed to figure out where in the world. I need to put these, so 4, 6, and that throws a bottom. Are you up there, sir? Yes. Okay. I want to go as far this way as this will let me. Like, this is the absolute cheatiest thing I can do with this. And what am I doing? Omnidirectionally placing materials in range like it's Terraria. Without block swap. With block swap, that would be ridiculous. Alright. Things that we still need dealt with later. And like, I'm certain I'm going to need more things later. And yeah, I could grab more than one thing at a time. All right. There we go. Yep. Oh. Technically, I could skip over the ones that are like empty, and I probably should. Locking and unlocking. This is one of those ones where, like, I use when I was dealing with drawers, I would use like the pickerang. You throw a pickerang, you pick up the drawer from a long way away, then you launch it into place with a stasis slingshot from Quark. Torches. Torches. Okay, lights come through the drawers, but just in case. Ugh. And yeah, that's a wrap. I'll finish this up the next time I'm hopped on. But until then, bye.